religious station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
You're now listening to INCRadio United Kingdom Satellite Studio.
Hello and welcome to INCRadio UK Satellite Studio. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone tuning in. I am CJ Christine Joyce Dasaya coming to you live from the beautiful country of Wales here on the west side of the UK. And of course, I'm not the only one hosting for today's show. I am with someone else. Hi.
Hi, CJ. Thank you for having me on this lovely Sunday afternoon. And for those who are tuning in, you're tuning in to INCRadio United Kingdom Satellite Studio. And I'm Sally Grace Medina from Dublin, Ireland. So we're actually doing a little bit of hosting here in this part of the world as well. So again, CJ, thank you for having me and thank you for sharing the screen with me today.
Yes, it's been so long. We
I
haven't
know,
hosted
right?
for a while. Yes,
I
very,
know.
very exciting.
Yes, very exciting show for us to bring to you. So again, you're tuning into INCRadio United Kingdom Satellite Studio, and today is the 22nd of June, 2025, and it's only 2 minutes past 5. And for our show today, we are bringing to you our topic discussion, which will be all about, so you've graduated, what's next? So we are going to bring to you, for those who are newly graduates and those who are still in secondary school maybe and thinking about what to do next, we'll bring to you some of tips or like life experiences from both of us, CJ, and also our listeners and our tuners on YouTube, our live link. So please, we encourage everybody to put in their comments or their answers as we go along and ask each other some questions all throughout our program. And also, we will be showcasing our CFO in Action or Christian Family Organization in Action segment, wherein we talk about the recently conducted activities in the districts of Britain North, Britain South, and the District of Ireland. So we'll bring that towards the end of the show. So please continue to tune in to hear about the recently conducted activities in those three districts within the satellite studio of INCRadio United Kingdom. So CJ, let's get into and dive into our topic discussion this afternoon.
Yes. Yes, we have a couple of questions for, of course, again, like what Sandy said, we encourage everybody to answer these questions along with us. And we feel like hopefully we will have audience who can share their experiences because not us, what do you call it, exposing our age, but it feels like it's been
Exactly.
so long. It feels like it's been
It's
so
more like,
long
yeah,
since we
it's like
graduated
us.
from secondary school. And
Yeah.
yes, so please do share your experiences if you want to. And maybe then we can link those answers with the panelists today as well. So what's the first question?
Yes. So again, our topic discussion for this afternoon is, so you've graduated, what's next? So the very first question that we have for both of us and also those who are tuning in on INCRadio United Kingdom via the YouTube link, please answer along with us. So first question is, how can graduates begin to discern or even decide their next steps, whether it's work, further education, or something else? So maybe I'll go first so we could ease into our topic discussion. Like for me, just like many other students that came before me, I think I took the traditional route. I
Yeah.
feel like I think it's the most like stable way of looking into your career. So I went into further studies. So after secondary school, well, during secondary school still, um, uh, here in Ireland, also I believe in the United Kingdom, we kind of have the same system.
Yeah.
That we were given advice on what courses we have to pick, but um, just a little bit of a background for those who are not familiar with the educational system in the United Kingdom and also in Ireland. We have to do state exams for us to determine, although we put in our choices for the courses that we wanted to do, it's purely based on the points that we get or the scores we get on the state exams. Although we prioritize the list of courses that we would like to do, at the end of the day, it's based off the scoring system or the grades that we get at the end of that state exam. So for me, as I've said, I fell into like the more traditional route of further education. So I put in all of the choices that I wanted, but unfortunately, the first choice that I have, or first couple choices that I have, I didn't get the points, and they're mainly nursing courses.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
Not
it's yeah, I feel like because it's a stable profession, and it's an in-demand profession anywhere, I feel like it's the more stable option. And also, I put along with my list is culinary arts, and then I fell into culinary arts because I got the points for culinary arts, and also obviously because I like cooking at the time, but more like a hobby kind of a thing. So I got the points for culinary arts, and from then on, like that's how I decided. I was like, pursue this in a professional setting, and or in the further education setting, and go from there. And maybe I could explore this not just as a hobby, but more of a means of living. So that's how I fell into that. And I know a lot of people, the trajectory of their career is going into the more traditional way. But we know there's a lot more students as well that explore like other avenues and other routes, right? Like for you, CJ, how did you go about deciding for you if you want to go into further education? Or did you kind of have the same decision-making steps when you were in secondary school?
Mhm. So I think we actually have the same similar system here in the UK as well. So for those who watching or listening to us, Sandy is in Ireland and I'm in Wales. So there are different countries, but I think the system is quite similar as well as in England and Scotland, I believe. Um, we were lucky enough in school that we were taught and guided on how to, what steps to take before going into work or into university or whatever career pathway that you wanted to get into, which is really really good. And they do that a lot. I know with my younger brother now, Reese, he's actually going through the same thing. I should have asked him to join us today, but yes, from what I can remember, wow, it's been so long. We
We're
were,
revealing our age
I
live
know,
on
I
air.
know, and we were, I actually went to oh, I took the same path as you, Sandy, that after secondary school or after comprehensive school, I ended up going into further education as well. And I think, yes, that's the traditional or most common way of how people went into their career or chosen profession. But I think there are so many, I don't know what it's like now, and I hope that the younger generation can also share their experiences. I think there are so many opportunities now that you don't have to go to universities, because a lot of companies, a lot of um, settings now accept um, other ways. For example, I think we were also given knowledge or information on apprenticeships. And I know a lot of the binhis, those who are baptized brethren in the church, and who are not yet, who are 17 and younger, they are actually more interested in having or doing apprenticeship now, which is, for those of you who don't know, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but here is when you are learning and you're also working or getting paid at the same time in a specific industry. And I think a lot of the newly graduates now, I think they need to do a lot of research because it's so much wider, and a lot of opportunities are out there, and it's not the same for everybody. Like for us, we went straight to further education, but there are so many pathways now where you can be more comfortable, where you can what's the word, thrive even more with your chosen career. I think those are the further steps that they can do, um, for them to really know, or for them to really, yeah, for them to know themselves, and for them to really know which path to take when it comes to their careers. I think some are being pressured to just do whatever, I don't know, their parents want to do, but they're not happy with it. And so I think with the newly graduates, just really put yourself out there, do a lot of research. Um, I can remember when we were in secondary school, we had to go to we had to do work experiences just to get the gist, just to get the feel. I don't know if you did
Yeah,
that.
we
Yeah,
do that too here. Yeah.
yeah. And so you know which career you want to do, or you want to take on after school, or when you graduate from secondary school. So I really do, and a lot of places really do take on people just for them to show what the industry is, what their companies do, and a lot of people are really happy to just teach whatever, yeah, whatever they can give. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I feel like as you've mentioned, there are like I feel like during our time we just focus on that one pathway, which is the traditional pathway. But as you've mentioned, apprenticeships is a good way of getting into the industry that you like to get into, but like by putting both of your feet in
Yeah.
uh, directly and going straight for it, while also like earning a living, which is something that looking back now I should have done. Like I would have wanted like a more apprenticeship type of learning. And
Mhm.
also I just wanted to point out, it just came to me while you were talking, like this is something that we have to point out as well when you're deciding or discerning the next steps for you. I feel like all of us learn different ways. Like for me, I believe I thrive on academic, like classroom setting. I feel like that's
Okay. I'm the
my
opposite.
oh yeah, so there
Humor.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Like I feel like I'm like my comfortable zone, my comfy zone is in a class setting,
Mhm.
and this comfort zone is in a more hands-on approach. So
Mhm.
maybe like when you're discerning the next steps for you, look into what kind of a learner are you, what kind of a student are you, because maybe the classroom setting could only teach you and make you stay learning for so long, for 10 or 15 years, like in primary school, secondary school. But maybe you need a change because
Yeah.
you feel like you will thrive even better in a more realistic setting other than a classroom setting. So like when you're deciding what to do next, maybe think about that too, along with how your next step will benefit your career. Because like the main step is how are you going to absorb the information given to you. Will you absorb it better in academic setting, or will it be better for you to just learn it from somebody who's showing you, or you being given the tools to do it as in actuality?
Mhm.
So like for me, like that's one of the nuggets of wisdom maybe that I could share to those who are listening and tuning into us, that maybe check check yourself and how you are as a student,
Mhm.
or how you learn things before you make the first steps, the further steps for your education and for your career. Because I feel like sometimes we get into our comfort zone and just how everybody is doing it, because sometimes like, just because everybody is doing it doesn't mean that it will suit you, you know? So
Mhm.
like, yeah. And there's also other people, the more like rebellious, the renegade types that go along and do their own thing, and actually like it helped them out because breaking away from like the more traditional way of learning things really helped them put their mark on their career, and
Mm.
maybe put them in a spotlight, in a good spotlight, in a way that it will highlight their skills, their talents, and I know a lot of people, not only in church, but also my friends in college, that they tried in the beginning in a university setting, but then later on they realized maybe university is not for me.
Yeah.
So they went into like the workforce after like 1 or 2 years in university. Maybe you have like people that you know as well, right?
Um,
Mm.
I think now. Um, yeah. Oh, yes, actually. Yes, and or some people go on to do a degree, but ended up doing another degree because they weren't happy, perhaps, in the work setting that they chosen, the first one that they've chosen, and so um, for an advice would be for the newly graduates, just really, yeah, really put yourself out there and maybe speak to other people who have gone through the same path, or who is going through, I don't know, their um challenge challenges in their careers, and whatever, and just ask them what did you do, like what were the steps that you take for you to thrive even more in your chosen career. And actually, and I just wanted to point out, because in the church we have our monthly meetings, so we are guided and we are being supported by the church administration through the CFO presidents, Christian family organizations, where we are taught on how to deal with these things. And we're very grateful because those advices came straight from the Bible as well. And we have ministers who give us lectures. And yeah, I just wanted to point out, which will interlink to the other questions that we will go through in a few minutes. Um, Pray, always pray for us to be guided, so that whatever chosen career or whatever path that we take, we will be, we will not be, we will be satisfied, and also we will be happy and inspired. So not us to be frustrated, because it is very, challenging.
Yeah, it's true. Like when you are at that age and at that point in your life, you feel like you're just taking it on like by
Yeah.
yourself, and
Mm,
the decision should be right there, right now,
mm,
and whatever you decided on, you feel like if it's wrong, it's the end of your life, kind of like that way, which shouldn't be. And also, like, we wanted to point out as well, like, maybe you've decided at the age of 17 or even 18 that you wanted to do this course, and you went into the university knowing that you'd like this course, but in the middle of you learning that course and going through the university, you felt like it doesn't suit you, um,
mm,
it doesn't fit in with what you wanted to do in life career wise. There is a way for you to get into the other avenues or the other aspects of that industry by just exploring what's on offer by your university. So you don't really need to go back to square one, as they say. I think it all depends on the educational institution that you're in, but maybe like they're offering you to maybe move into another course after doing it for 1 or 2 years. So please don't feel like it's you have to stick through it and be what's the word for it? Like be miserable, and
mm.
not like you have to just finish it for the sake of just finishing it.
Yeah.
But there's so many ways that you could explore what you really like to do, as you've mentioned, like anything that we need to do in life, always couple it with prayers. Because although you don't know the next steps, I think the best way to go about it is just to pray. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, put everything and put your trust in God completely, because we don't know what our next steps really. We're just trying to do our best to
Yes.
find that out.
Yes, definitely. And speaking of challenges, since we are on that topic now, our next question is, what are some common challenges new graduates face when stepping into adult life, and how can they prepare spiritually and practically? Uh, yes, do I go first with this one?
If you want to go first, I don't mind. Like, I think,
To be
yeah,
honest, yes. From the top of my head, I think um, you know, freshly graduate from school, going into an adult working life, I think one of the challenges, many challenges that we faced from our time, I think it was more on having fear of exposing yourself out there without the qualifications that you need. So there's a term for it. I can't remember at the top of my head.
like imposter
Yeah, imposter
syndrome kind
syndrome
of.
and anxiety.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, so having doubting yourself, am I good enough? I don't have the experience. Um I think, yeah, I think that's one of the challenges that I've had to face because, fresh graduate from secondary school, how am I going to go about university, or what am I going to do being there, independent out there? And well, for me, it's been so long. I can't remember what I did. I probably just prayed and just went, oh, we'll see how it goes. But yes, I think that's just me just doubting myself. But I ended up just, yeah, just going through it, growing as I go, and just faced the challenges step by step. If that's how if I can answer that question that way.
Yeah, no, like completely. It's a valid kind of challenge that everybody faced, like not knowing if what you've learned is enough, or if there's still gaps in your knowledge that you still need to fill in. I feel like that sense of um, if you're enough or you've learned enough, it's not gonna go away. I feel like it's just you kind of manage it as the time goes on. Like when you become a bit more experienced adult,
Mhm.
like you learn how to adapt and you learn how to kind of tackle that side of things. But I feel like I wanted to point that out to the youth and also those who are tuning in, those who are still freshly graduates, that side of things, it's never gonna go away. There are certain points in our lifetime that will question the way we go through things, like especially our careers and how we go about it. But as long as we we kind of discern what is suited for us as an individual and as members of the Church of Christ, coupling that with our faith and our trust in our Almighty God, we will slowly learn how to tackle it and how to manage it, especially the anxiety that goes along with it.
Yeah.
Um, you will slowly learn how to manage that and manage it emotion wise and also kind of like decision wise.
Mhm.
For me, like one of the challenges, and we mentioned this just before we went live, is for me the main challenges for me is like going into the adult life is the financial side of things. Yes, our parents helped us out majority of our lives before we go into university and also secondary school. But once you've learned that you have to think about your fees in
Mhm.
university, it feels so daunting because you're given this amount for all of the courses that you have to finish, and then there's a price tag
Yeah.
on the courses that you do. So along with kind of thinking about how I'm going to learn this course, I think in the back of my mind, I was also thinking about how am I going to pay
Yeah.
for my student debt too. I think that's one of the things that maybe is not like mentioned in a bit more detail for students, right? And also the other expenses that go along trying to finish your education and also maybe finishing your apprenticeship. Maybe you're at that point of your life that you moved away from your family and you have to also take on rent, like electricity bill, gas bill, like
Yeah.
car expenses and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
for me, like one of the things is the financial side of things, and also like kind of finding myself within the university campus setting, not just for like learning how to educate myself by myself, but also like my identity within the campus setting. I feel like that's another challenge as well. I feel like that's one of um, the challenges that everyone goes through, right? Maybe did you feel the same too?
Yeah, and it's like if I'm understanding it correctly, just finding yourself because it's a big world out there in university, and you meet a lot of people who are probably not the same as you, because I'm more of an introvert, so for me I didn't have a lot of university friends, and even at work, I like my own bubble, I like my own space, and so
Mm-hmm.
it was quite difficult, not quite difficult, it was challenging for me to put myself, where in school you have like the different groups where I don't know where you fit in. I think I was the same in university. I didn't know where to fit in, so I just kind of like stayed in my own bubble and just be myself. But yeah, no, I totally get what you mean with that.
And also like yeah, like we try to find ourselves in the campus or university setting, but like sometimes like maybe like for myself, I enjoyed meeting new people with different backgrounds than me. But obviously, you like both sides influence each other, right? So they influence me and I influence them. But
Mm,
what is the limit for you to get influence, and where is the limit for you to influence them? Is there a limit? Like that's one of the challenges for everybody, and not just for us like members of the Church of Christ, because like once you're in university or um, even a little bit in secondary school, you're in the real world now. You're not just surrounded by your friends in church with the same values as you.
yeah.
You're surrounded by people that maybe you like the way they dress, you like the way they talk and present themselves, but
Mm,
maybe they have different set of values that doesn't go with the way we are taught in the church, you know? So how do you set the boundaries within you as a new graduate, a new student? Like are you gonna be the one being influenced? Are you the one being are you the one influencing? I feel like that's just some of the challenges,
mm,
like new graduates and also graduates of secondary school going into university. And also before we move on, I think we have some comments as well from this comment, by the way, is from brothers Ethan, and he's saying that this time he's talking about the new graduates of universities. So
mm,
common challenges that graduates have to face is experience. Jobs are looking for experience with a lack of opportunities in the workforce, and that's a very valid challenge for those who graduated from university,
yeah.
and the industry or the job that they really want to aim for require a lot of work experience, although they are freshly graduates. How do you go about that, and how do you fix that? And that's one of the realistic challenges that new graduates go through. Like, how do you go about it, and how do you present yourself to those who are recruiting, that maybe you could pick me and I'm more suited to that role as a new graduate, although you advertise for people with 4 or 5 years years of experience. So yes, that's a valid challenge for newly graduates. And as I've mentioned and I've touched on, um, like for us members of the Church of Christ, along with the people around us, we have similar challenges. But for us, how we uh, tackle it and we um, manage it for us members of the Church of Christ is by completely trusting in our Almighty God and always communicating all of our needs and our desires and all of our hopes through our prayers, right? That's the best way to go about it. And setting up your own personal devotional prayer is always the best way to go about, especially things that you don't know how to handle. Um, and you feel like, and we mentioned this already, you feel like you're going through it by yourself. So you feel like you're secluding yourself and like
Mm.
kind of what's the word for it? Um, letting kind of like letting it settle within you. I can't I can't think of the proper words, but like kind of like keeping it in. Yeah, I think that's the best way.
Mhm.
Keeping it in, um, not communicating it to our Almighty God, and also communicating it with our loved ones or our parents maybe,
Mm.
um, and people who are close to us that could help us out. Um, I think that's the best way to tackle those challenges as young adults or new graduates, as members of the Church of Christ. And also, those who are tuning in to us, um, who are also newly graduates and are looking into the future. Now, I think we will go to the next question that we have, and I know we've already touched on this already, but we'll go to the next question, which is how can young Christians stay connected to their faith after leaving the structure of school or campus? So, like for me, as I've mentioned, the challenges for me is like when I was trying to find my identity uh,
Mm.
within the campus or university setting. I feel like the one way that helped me kind of navigate my way as a young Christian, um, to maintain my faith within the school or university setting is look into my seniors in the church and how they managed to pave the way um, to still balance their academic life with their life in the church. And a lot of my ates and kuyas, so those who don't know, they are like my older sisters and brothers in faith, but also like seniority wise, the Philippine culture. I look out to them and how they handled their academic life. And there's so many inspiring people within the church that you could look into and kind of take I always take like mental notes of how they do things, and
Mhm.
through that I'm inspired, and like I take that on and make it my own.
Yeah.
um, and yeah, that's how like maybe how it helped me navigate my academic life as young Christians. What about you? Did you look like get inspired by people in church, or maybe somebody not even from your own local congregation, but maybe somebody from further away that you're like, okay, like he or she is somebody that like you could could look uh inspire me. Do you
Mm.
have somebody like that?
Um, well, I'm thinking about it now from our time. Wow, that sounds so old. From our time to what the younger generation has now, say, social media and the technology, they have all these advantages where they can fully connect, or they can just talk to someone over the internet and share whatever they're experiencing, right? And that's a really good thing, because you do, and that is used in the church as well. And there are so many blogs, so many vlogs as well, by members of the Church of Christ, who are freshly graduates or still facing adult life, and they share their experiences there. And I love that there's church content that it gets featured, how they deal with these things. There are so many, and thinking about it now, I wish that we had the same thing. But I remember from experience, I remember we had this visitation going to Scotland, and I can't remember her name, but she's a sister from Edinburgh, and she was doing, I think she was doing her doctorate or something like that. Sister Kat, Sister Moana, one of them. Shout out to our brothers and sisters from Edinburgh, Scotland. And she was talking during our visitation. She was talking about her career, and I think that was the first time that I heard, or that I heard someone talk about their education, or that kind of level. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And I think that's like one of the things that inspired me to be like, okay, I want to go into further education. And I think that's one way of, like what you said, you speak to people with experience, and those inside the church, because then not only do they speak about their experience with education, but also their experience in, say, maybe their officers inside the church, right? And how they balance those things. And so you get um you they open up and how they deal with those things, and so you get a gist of it. You then apply it to the situation that you are in. And I think that's, yeah, just by talking, that's, I think that's how I dealt with it, staying connected with my faith. And because we didn't have these vlogs, these church
Yeah.
content
Mm.
when we were younger. There's so many now on social media. I love it. I love, this is
Yeah,
why.
and I'm so glad. I'm so
Yes,
glad.
me too. I actually, I'm not very active on social media. I tend to not go on it so much, but because there's so much church content that you can relate to, even I can relate to, that I want to keep watching them. I want to keep reading them. I want to keep being exposed to those things. And yeah, the younger generations are very, very lucky. You guys are very lucky because you have all these things now, and you can relate. You can be more informed of what's happening with our brothers and sisters from around the world. Someone from California is sharing it, for example, on Faith Speaks, right? On YouTube, you can see that, or on INCmedia.org. So many. So
Yeah, so many. And like I just realized now, like for the new graduates of university and new graduates of secondary school or high school, let's remember that I feel like we're gonna move into the next question that we have, but we'll answer it anyway. But let's remember that as young Christians, we always have to put our faith as not something on the side,
yeah.
but something at the center of our lives. So if you always have that in the center of your life as a student, as somebody going into the workforce, if you're dead set on like making sure that you still attend the worship services, that you still fulfill your duties, it will provide a better clarity for you as young member of the Church of Christ, because you know your goal and what you need to do. So as I've mentioned, our faith plays an important role for us as young Christians and new graduates. We need to make sure that our faith is at the forefront of how we make decisions on our lives. It could be based on our career, it could be based on relationships, or any aspect of our lives. We need to make sure that our faith is at the forefront of that
Mm-hmm.
it's not on the side, and or maybe you put it aside once something hard or difficult comes along. Let's remember to make sure that it's at the center of our lives always. And like I know you feel the same way too, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah. And you take inspiration from the duties that you have. And so, it can be challenging being an adult or a freshly graduate, but we take inspiration from the offices, from our brothers and sisters that we work with in the church. And yeah, you always have to put, I do agree, you always have to put your faith in the center of all your decisions, career wise or life wise.
Yeah, likewise, whatever that, it's such a big sphere of things in our lives. But yes, it should always be at the center, at the core of our being as members of the church or as young Christians. And I feel like for me personally, it takes away a lot of anxiety or feeling of overwhelmingness
Hmm.
when I know what I'm working towards. It's not just for me personally, but I know it's for my faith, for the growth of my faith, for the improvement of like how I fulfill my duties. Um, I think that's the best nugget of wisdom that maybe I'll share to the youth, that if you're feeling overwhelmed and you feel like you're tackling on so many things all at the same time, um, uh, put aside your thoughts, um, uh, take some time to pray
Yeah.
and give your worries to our Almighty God, because He's so ready and willing to help us, but as long as we put it all to Him first and not tackle it by ourselves. I feel like that's like the natural way of doing things. You feel like you have to do it by yourself, no?
Hmm.
uh, so
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's like my nugget of wisdom. What about you?
I, you said it all. I can I can say the same thing. And once you've done that, you feel so much better. But also, you also have your friends, your family, your loved ones who I'm pretty sure will understand fully and will willingly navigate through whatever you're going through or the uncertainties, and you don't have to face it alone. You can always share it with your trusted friends, your parents, your siblings, and I'm sure that they will actively listen and give their 2 cents. And we see we you can always go through it together. And it's always better to go through it with someone that you trust, and of course guided by prayers, your devotional prayers. um, you'll be fine. We'll be fine. I think
Yeah, like yeah, as long as we put it all to our Almighty God, you'll be fine. Like sometimes, like it's just emotions bubbling up,
Mm,
and you just need a bit of like time to pray and meditate, and
yes,
then after that prayer, everything goes back to like not go back to normal, but like you feel a sense of weight being lifted off you.
yes, definitely. Yes. So, that is our topic. There's still, I hope that the newly graduates or those of you who listen to that segment or that section of our show today can fully relate or took something from us. And we hope next time that we also get the chance to have panelists who can share their ideas. But as part of this, before we end this part of our show, as members of the Church of Christ, we must remember that our identities are not based on our job title or our next move. Our real identity is our Christian identity as members of the Church of Christ. And transitions can be uncertain, but God's plans for all of us are steady and very good. Stay rooted in faith, seek wise community, and take each step with courage. And you don't have to have it all figured out, like what we said, but just be willing to trust and follow the will of our Almighty God.
Yes, and thank you, CJ, for putting in like the last closing statement for our topic discussion. And again, don't worry, you could rewatch, re-listen to any parts of our topic discussion by typing in INC Radio United Kingdom Satellite Studio and today's date, 22nd of June, 2025. But for now, we will go on a quick station break and we will bring to you an Iglesia Ni Cristo original music video or cover entitled In Our New Home. So please continue to tune into us and listen and enjoy this musical presentation. And we will be back shortly so that we could bring to you the next part of our show, our segment, which is CFO in Action, a Christian Family Organization in Action. We will be discussing the recently conducted activities in the districts of Britain South, Britain North, and in Ireland. So please continue to tune in on INCRadio United Kingdom Satellite Studio, and we will be going on a quick station break. Please continue to tune in.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia Ni Cristo.
Constantly blesses his children with his infinite love.
Let not our hearts be worried nor dismayed. Instead, ever unwavering faith.
That in our new home, in the new heaven and earth, we will dwell evermore in the presence of God. In our new home, there be no longer tears. We will gain the everlasting life. So while we know life on earth will be hard, we also know this will strengthen our faith and our hearts.
And when our race upon this world is won, then all together we'll be brought.
Welcome back. You are tuning in once again to INC Radio UK. The current time right now is 10 to 6, and it is still Sunday, the 22nd of June. We have just finished, watching the INC or Iglesia Ni Cristo original Christian music video in our new home. Very, very. I was in awe watching that music video. I wish I was.
Yeah, like I get a little bit of goosebumps, whenever they like sang in harmony and all like the
Very
choir.
much.
I'm like,
Yes.
ooh,
We love it. Yes, we love seeing our brethren there. And they were also in their uniforms, office uniforms. Very nice. Yes. So we will quickly go through our CFO in action. So for those of us, all of us tuning into INC Radio UK, we will be featuring the activities that were recently conducted here in the three districts in the UK: Britain North, Britain South, and Ireland. First up is the Britain South, Stratford's 35th anniversary celebration. Sanli?
so yes, you'll be seeing on your screen just a couple of moments now. The pictures, all some of the photos that were taken on that special activity for the local congregation of Stratford, where they celebrated their 35th anniversary of the establishment of their local congregation. And as you can see, this was a joyous occasion for all of the members in the local congregation of Stratford. There were musical performances along with presentations from the members of the different Christian family organization within that local congregation. And again, we'd like to congratulate all of the members, all of the CFO organizations in the local congregation of Stratford. And I believe that was conducted just last Sunday. So again, congratulations for reaching 35th anniversary of the establishment of your local congregation. Well done, everyone, and well done for all of those who performed that special day. So I think we'll move on to the second activity that we have, and you'll be seeing the next couple sets of photos there. And this activity was again in the district of Britain South, and it's the Notting Hill CFO Cares activity. And you'll see photos there. And yes, CJ, you could maybe describe to us what's happening
Yes,
in that
and
photo.
we know that a lot of the local congregations throughout the three districts also conducted the same activity. The CFO Cares, Christian Family Organization Cares, launched by our then CFO coordinator, but now our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Aranya Manalo, and where our brethren were able to help out each other. So, we have a lot of INC giving projects and Care for Humanity projects, but this time it's for the brethren where they gave out free haircuts, free blood pressure check, blood sugar check, and I think weight check too. And yes, as you can see there were also entertainment and care packages that were given to the brethren who much needed them. And of course, socializing and with food towards the end of the activity. And yes, that as a quick recap of our show for today, we were able to give out a lot of insights and advices to those who just graduated. Congratulations to the class of 2025. Brethren, we are so very proud of you. And of course, we are also looking forward to many more activities that will be featured for our CFO in action for our next show next Sunday. But yes, do we have any shout outs on YouTube, Sunny?
I would just want to quickly give a big shout out to all of our supporters on the YouTube link. We always see Sister Christina Hebrew. So I'd like to say hello to Sister Christina and also Brother Seth. They always support INC Radio United Kingdom. And
Yes.
also I saw a comment from Michael Bautista. So again, to all those who are always commenting, by the way, always on a Sunday. And also I've seen a comment from Sister Lami King as well. So I'd like to say hello to all of them. And there's so many that I'd like to read out, but we're running out of time,
I
unfortunately.
know. Yes. Oh, and I also saw our brother David Rubik. Hello po. And of course to Brother Hardy Alcantara out there in Britain South. So yes, before we end our program today, we would like to greet our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Aranyo V. Manalo. We'd also like to say hello to Brother Wally Taray, our Station Manager, and Brother Montrevel Boy, our Iglesia de Cristo Media Production Section Chief.
also like to say hello and extend our greetings to our district supervising ministers for all of the districts involved in INC Radio United Kingdom Satellite Studio. And again, those districts are Britain North, Britain South, and Ireland. So we'd like to say hello to the district supervising minister of Britain South, Brother Harley Alcantara. Hello po, Brother Harley. And to Brother Anthony Peña, the district supervising minister of Britain North. Hello po. And also to our very own Brother Pepito Aquesta, our district supervising minister for the District of Ireland. And we also would like to extend our warm greetings and hellos to the rest of the ministers and workers in the District of Britain South, Britain North, and Ireland. And it's the time went by so quickly. You'd like to tell you
shout
more?
out to the parents. Shout out to the local congregation of Cardiff, Wales. Well done to the activities yesterday and today.
Yes, also I'd like to say hello to my local congregation. We're still right here in our venue for worship service, and we just conducted a baptism, and we still have Welcome My Brethren happening after our INC. Yes, so busy. But yes, we'll leave it at that because we're gonna go over time. But again, thank you so much for everyone tuning in on INC Radio United Kingdom Satellite Studio. You could easily rewatch any of our shows by typing in INC Radio United Kingdom Satellite Studio and our show date. So you could type in 22nd of June, 2025, and you could easily rewatch any part, any segment of our show. And yes, I think that brings us to the end of our show, CJ.
Yes. See you next time and have a wonderful Sunday.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.